Greetings, MDUSD. This is Dr. Dan Scudero with a summary of the MDSPA agreement from 2019 to 2022. We'll begin with salaries. You'll note that in 2019 to 20, it was status quo. They put in Me Too language, but nobody got any increase in 1920. Same for 2021, status quo. Again, they put in Me Too language, but no one got anything in 2021. And then we get to 21-22. In 21-22, the structure of the salary schedule was changed to more closely resemble Medea's salary schedule. So MDSPA had a salary schedule very similar to DMA, and it was problematic for MDSPA, much like it is problematic for DMA. We changed their salary schedule, so it was more of a vertical salary schedule with years of service from years 1 through 25. We did this by taking their 3% on schedule increase and spreading it upwards so that their more senior members got a larger increase. That allows us to have a higher salary step at step 25, which makes it much more attractive to other school psychologists, behavioral health specialists who may want to come to Mount Diablo, and we want them to come to Mount Diablo. The 3% off schedule was calculated first. You know that they get 3% on schedule and 3% off schedule. 3% off was calculated first, and then the 3% on schedule was calculated next. That 3% on schedule is retroactive to July 1st of 2021. An additional 1% was later added to the salary schedule due to the Me Too agreement that MDSPA has in their contract that was focused solely on Medea. And you'll notice as we go through these contracts that we change the Me Too agreements to all focus on Medea. It gives the board greater freedom to act with any individual bargaining unit. So add their 1% to their 3%, they got a total of 4% on schedule plus their 3% off schedule. MDSPA was the first one to settle in 2022 for years going on to 22, 23, and beyond. And they did well because they settled first. Both the master's degree and doctorate degree stipends were also increased by 4% due to Article 12, Section F. In accordance with their previous contract, we kept this in place. The MDSPA members can get both a stipend for a master's degree and stipend for a doctorate degree. All these changes apply only to employees who are active as the date of the MDSPA ratification on March 10th, 2022. This is an unusual case where MDSPA ratification came after board approval, mostly because they felt the board had broken faith with them in previous bargaining agreements. The hourly pay rates are only increased as of the day of the MDSPA ratification on March 10th. And then you'll notice this little piece right here in the middle. So we agreed, even though the benefit portion went up, I think, to 5.3% in 21-22, and the contract says that the district picks up the first 4%, the employee picks up the rest. We agreed that we would pick up the additional rate increase in excess of 4%. So the district picked up the total 5.3% increase. Here's this Me Too agreement, focused on Medea. Again, this is the piece that took a long time. It took over a year to negotiate this with all the bargaining units, except for Medea, which doesn't have a Me Too agreement. And basically, it focuses them all on Medea, which gives the board greater discretion in how they want to address some of the bargaining units. And we have some bargaining units whose membership continue to make just minimum wage. The board has expressed interest in changing that. Here in summer school, you'll notice that unit members providing summer school services will be paid at their prorated daily salary schedule rate. In terms of discretionary leave, MDSPA members now get 7 days of their sick leave that they can use for discretionary leave. And in terms of layoffs, and I'm not sure why we don't have this language, these are in other tentatively agreed articles. In terms of layoffs, MDSPA members who are laid off shall be entitled to 3 days of paid leave in order to seek new employment opportunities. Thankfully, no one else has that that agreement. And then there's a lot of language about workload that really only affects the MUSPA members and the special education department. So I'm not going to go over that language. You can, however, read it if you'd like. And I already talked about Article 7 and 15. And then there were two side letters, which are important to note. This is the beginning version of the MUSPA salary schedule. You can tell it went vertical, and they have steps all the way 1 through 25. We stopped the skipping step thing that happened in their previous salary schedule. So this first side letter is basically just to change their 190 days. It's a 1-year side letter that only applied to 21-22, and then it expired. There was a long-term running disagreement where MUSPA wanted to go from 200 days to 190. The district had wanted to do it also back, I think, in 18 or 19, maybe even 1920, and couldn't do it because of all the Me Too agreements. So there was an initial side letter done by Dr. Aguili, and then this side letter done by the district's MUSPA bargaining team. And you'll see in the next contract what that leads to. And then there was the comp time. So a part of that running disagreement was that they had felt that they had not been compensated in 2000, I believe it was 2018, 19, for the 10 days. They had side letters for 10 days, but they wanted it retro to 18, 19. And of course, at this time, the district could not pay them. So the two teams came up with the concept of comp time, 10 days of comp time, only for those members who had worked for our district for 4 consecutive years. And they have until 2024, at the end of 2024, to utilize that comp time. And here ends the summary of the MUSPA agreement from the years 2019 to 2022.